I think it's like it's a human understanding. I don't think we're pushing anything that's really complicated or academic. I really think it's just, people are hurting and they need help. And it's not so much from a bleeding hearts perspective, like to go back to what you're saying to Ali about the competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're being facetious, but uh,
Yeah.
the competition doesn't necessarily have to end, but we need to start putting in perspective as a society what it is exactly the competition. People who believe in that kind of ideology where we're all responsible for ourselves, and if competition breeds healthier people, you're getting, when you put it on a world scale, you're getting into like low level eugenics at that point. Like, not everyone is bred to win, and that, even to go further than that, like, what are they winning? Like, it's a subjective norm, it's a subjective idea of what is to be done with the world. But I think we can all agree, like, I think human rights, UN, whatever example you want to look at, like, I think we've come to terms with what is a basic essential need for humanity. Social aspects aside, cultural differences aside, I think we know what people need, and we need to stop acting like it's a huge academic solve it all. Like we don't need to go down to universities and get our biggest whiz on this, which we could. It's not hard. It's not like we aren't capable of doing that.
Yeah.
But we all know what the issues are. Like, we don't need to pretend like it's something that needs to have like a million different numbers and statistics. It's like, we know what's going on, man. People are dying. People are homeless. We can build houses. We've known how to do it for centuries, millennia, and we know how to do it. But it's the red tape. It's the bureaucracy shit. You know what I mean? We don't need that. We need to. There has to be an ability for people outside of this election, outside of whatever. There has to be an ability for people when we can realize when we've gone too far. Like, the way I've been talking to people about it is like, when we were kids, you're talking about competition, man. I'm like one of the most competitive people in the world. Like, it's not even a competition. But like,
Yeah.
when we were kids, we would be playing like soccer or basketball or whatever, right? And I would always be with the intense people, the tryhards. I was like a gym hero, whatever, right? But it's like, it's just simple. Like, you understand it when you're a child. If your friend falls and cuts their leg, like, everyone's like talking down on the kid who like steps over him and keeps playing the game to win. You know what I mean? And it's just like, we talk about the shift from like capitalism to communism and whatever kind of isms, but it's like, at the end of the day, they're just ideas of organization. Like, we need to understand that we're bigger than the system as people, and we don't, like, nobody's working the government but like some dude who's working the government. Like, nobody's fixing your car except some dude who's fixing your car. Like, these aren't like godly people or people who are not relatable or understandable. Like, we're all just getting by, you know what I mean? And some of us are doing it better than others, and some of us have a better understanding of what will get you ahead in life right now. And you can go into like the reasons for that, and like education, and like, starting with low, like, people who just aren't made to win from the beginning, if you want to put in that term, less fortunate, whatever. But it's like, yeah, like, it's just an ideology. I think the reason, like that it kind of has like a history is because it's just so self-evident when you really care to know and you care to be part of that. Like, I don't think I don't know, man. Like, money's great. Like, I want a yacht. That stuff's cool, bro. Like, it's great. And like, there's people who could probably grind and really do the American dream thing. And like, I get it. And I get people who are struggling who made it. And I understand all those perspectives. But it's like, at the end of the day, I don't need people to earn their lack of suffering. Like, I don't care
Yeah.
that I'm missing, like, not, and that's not even to say, people look at it as like a give or take, like, I go without because they're getting more. That's not even how the system works, man. Like, how often do you notice when people get welfare or things like that? You know what I mean? Like, out of your own check, we all give a certain amount of money and then we go about our day. You know what I mean? Like, how often do you hear people actually asking what taxes goes towards, unless it's some sort of like, I don't know, like, political agenda situation where we all start bringing up, what's going on with money.
Yeah.
We genuinely care, and we genuinely have like reasons for why we believe in what we believe in. But I'm just saying, like, the average person who's not politicized, like, that's just like stuff that is on the news one day for them. Like, they don't care about where their taxes are going or even have the time to look into that. So I think, like, it's just, we have a priority. We have a different priority, and I think it's the right priority. I think we are thinking about people overall and not so much a project or a plan, or you know, it's just like it's real life, man. It's just like it's not a game, it's not a competition. Like there will be time for the billionaires to become billionaires if they want, but it's like, why does everyone have to be homeless? Why would you want to live in a world where that's what you're successful in? Amongst that, I'd rather be an unsuccessful person in a world where no one's suffering, everyone has a house and everyone can eat, than a billionaire, but I know what it costs and the system I'm contributing to. Like you can't pretend that the system, where you stand politically, doesn't matter. You can't pretend that a capitalist society or a system where you make more money based on the same amount of work, but just, you know, working it in a different way, using different labor, doing different things. You know, you don't have to get into all that for it to be true. Like you don't have to believe it. It is true. That is how you get money, and that is how you make money, and it is how you get rich. You know, you can sell your ideas and thoughts and all that stuff, but you know, so when you ask me that question, it's just like it's you don't need a lineage, like you don't need a lineage for math, man. It's like any human being who cares eventually will come upon it themselves and just start thinking that way. You know what I mean? Like it's just obvious, you know. And people who say that there's not a way, and it's like we don't even know that yet. You know what I mean? Like we haven't even started the first step of caring enough to fail at that problem. You know what I mean? Like I could live with that in my generation. Like I could live with being the generation who really tried to end homelessness and all that, and it didn't work out because we just didn't see the A B. Like, you know what I mean? Like we didn't get it all right. But like we're not even at that part, man. We're just not even willing, like, you know. So I think priorities, man. I think our plan, our belief, like anyone who really cares would come upon it. I don't think we're special. I just think it's obvious, man.
Ooh,